guru anything. Oh, we're on. I'm sorry. Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Poet the Poet. I'm Robert Dunn, host of tonight's Taffy Bowl, as usual, I might add. And we're coming to you from the Cafe Flabbergasted, one of the great inn joints and hash houses of Lower Manhattan. You can see it's very atmospheric around here, and we have, to match these surroundings, we have two of the most elegant poets that you will ever come across on the circuit today in the person of Roz Rabin and Joshua Meander. Both of them not only write, but they also run readings, and we'll be discussing that in a moment. We're going to start off with Rosalind. Rosalind Rabin has a book, which is always a nice thing to have. It's called The Clouds Are Mashed Potatoes. We'll be getting into the significance of mashed potatoes a little later
Not really,
in the
not
program. Let's see, you were at Hunter College, and you were thrust into depression
Right.
as part of a work-study course for Hunter, and war tour in Europe. A lyricist poet of the Broadway was era. She was involved with Sigmund Spaeth, the Song Mart, and Abner Silver's Lincoln Music.
Right.
And that ought to be something to talk about. Now
Well.
she's a member of the Haiku Society of America, Haiku Headlines, the World Poetry Society. So the whole world has heard of her. Matter of fact, she's done Awakenings, Hearts on Fire, all sorts of things. Treasuries of Love Poems for Image Image. She's done a lot of things for the New Press and other readings all over the place. She's co-hosting a reading Wednesday nights in the heart of Brooklyn, which is the Green Pavilion, as I recall,
Right.
down on 18th Avenue. Rosalind, welcome to Poet the Poet,
Thank you for having me.
and you do seem to be dazzling us
Yes.
tonight.
She's special.
Actually, a word about Rosalind's outfit tonight. We were trying to get Sultana, Queen of the Gypsies, but she wasn't available, and in this case, I would say we lucked out because now we have Rosalind.
Right.
All right,
And
Rosalind,
somebody else's shawl.
yeah, why don't we get right into
Right.
the poem?
Okay. This is one of my very recent poems written just about last week at the longest day of the year, and I call it First Summer Day. Where did you leave your shadow on the longest day of the year, when the sun stayed around 60 whole minutes more? Did you perceive mine racing out the door looking for a limb or two to land on? Was there a shower, thunder, a shaking of the leaves? And did some old clown pull a habit out of his sleeve, trying to lure away the coming of the dark? The park was full of pigeons, painting waste on all the cobblestones, molting in pairs like clones, fanning the air on Sheridan Square. And why was I not there when the world lowered its level blinds with a still wet sign, just sold, graffitied in liquid gold? And who told that summer solstice moon to hold my breath while it loomed into place like death, shining trick mirrors all over my face?
Well, Rosalind, I can
That was
see-
last Tuesday evening in the park.
Oh, which park was that?
And I wrote this in McDonald's, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh.
That was near Sheridan Square.
Oh, I see.
And between
Oh.
Sheridan Square and 6th Avenue, there's a little park.
Oh, Rosalind, you're not only dazzling the eye tonight, you're
Thank you.
dazzling the mind, too.
Good,
So
I
why
try to
don't we-
do that.
Why don't we get into another little poem?
Okay, and I'd like to mention a very lovely poet lady whose name is Evie Ivy, and I'm reading this for her because she was very impressed when she heard it. She wasn't alive at that time, and I guess it moved her very much. And this is about the to honor the longest day, which was the Omaha Normandy Day. I want to spend my life apologizing to all the bombed out bodies washed ashore like wormwood on Omaha Beach at Normandy, ages 18, 21, 33, their lovers' photos crushed and buried deep in the blood-dried sand. I want to recall with final breath all the Anne Franks in dugouts and attics, so alive with terror, death, my naked, rapid, shrieking sisters, their Lily Marlena worlds revolving to bottomless hell I want to tell their scattered souls how good it is to grow to be old, to thank them for my world and space, they who perished in my place.
I understand you do quite a rendition of Lily Marlene.
No, that's a false rumor.
Oh, come on. Before we get into the
I'm
next
better at
poem,
washing dishes
I
than that.
have to ask you, Roz, as I promised earlier, what is the significance of the mashed potatoes?
Well, my grandson, who's now 10, described the clouds at age 4 when I was trying to point out a dinosaur in the clouds, and he said, nah, the clouds are mashed potatoes. So that's the origin.
I see, okay. Hit us with another one. A poem.
Another one? Oh, this was written in McDonald's the same night as I did The Long Summer Night. Okay.
Not plugging in.
Okay, and it's called Blue Note. There was a sign outside McDonald's over the Blue Note Cafe. Blue Note. The Blue Note, Origami Piano Man, and his cutout paper band land in phantom white espaliered to a black marquee in Blue Note City. You'll have to feel the music, listen to the beating of your mind, bop your own bongo, find your own frets before the music forgets and is gone, is gone. There's a Blue Note origami paper world, high above high sea. You'll need to travel with your soul, leave your luggage far behind before you can find the Blue Note origami paper man and his doo-wop cutout paper band, stomping out the steamboat on the river blues, tapping out the lyrics with his traveling cutout shoes. You'll have to listen to the origami paper horn. Let your heart get torn before the music is born, before you can unwind your Blue Note mind to find the origami piano paper man swinging at the Blue Note with his cutout ragtime band.
Very evocative, Roz.
I was hoping that Alan would have done a few notes, but I guess he was flabbergasted by the.
Well, he ran out of
He
ink,
ran
so
out.
he won't be writing notes for a while.
Okay.
I just want to ask you before we get into
Sure.
the next poem, what started you writing as opposed from getting satisfaction collecting sequins?
Collecting sequins, well,
You went to sequences?
I think I've always written. I've always written, yes, as long as I learned the alphabet, let's say. Oh, I didn't write great things, but I've always written, let's say. Okay?
Well, you've written plenty of great things.
Yeah,
in your
well,
time. Here
okay.
comes another one.
Okay, this is called The Keeper. I am the keeper of the honeybee hives, bulging like balloons in circus colors, of dreams swarmed with stinging, shaking like a rattler, cracking the bell jar, cackling with hissing sound, a coven of witches cauldron round and linger. I am the keeper of the puppet dream, pulling on the down strings, loosening, slipping through the empty eyes of my threadbare fingers.
No origami this time?
No. How many things can you do with origami?
You'd be surprised.
Okay. Want another one about summer? Summer prelude. Interludes of splattered rain orchestrate the poets. We're meeting on the boardwalk afternoon. Like a John Cage fugue whose tones are only pauses, cadences inside a silent mini rhapsody. A wind-blown shirt, swiftly striding, lingering, pacing again, pausing in the rain, hair washed with breeze, eyes strained to seize some meaning in the holographic sky, lowering now like a giant backdrop, a misty mural to color the Coney Island alleys and byways, the highways, floating hot air balloons and giant demon Cameroons, side streets smogged with franks and kebab, where poets meet to read and sing of wonder wheels, electric eels, and how it feels to be first, above all, to be a poet.
That'll teach you.
Right.
I must point out, Rosalind, that was as excellent a description of the menu here at the Cafe Flabbergasted as I've ever heard. The owners, Rico and Johannes, who were gracious enough to let us film here tonight, recommend that you order the origami flambe.
Paper flambe, yes.
Let's
Okay.
look at another poem.
Yeah, I don't know whether I should do a very serious one or do the Gypsy, since you made some reference to Gypsy, or didn't you yet?
Do you have a serious gypsy poem?
Well, it's a Gypsy poem, okay?
Okay.
Okay. It's called "And the Gypsy." And the smoke rose high to the frescoed sky, and it spiraled to the beat, and the air was sweet, and the drum man hummed, and he tapped his feet, and the piano rolled, and the horn was bold, and they spoke their lines, and they bared their minds, and the room went round, swarming to the sound, and the gypsy smiled, and her eyes were dry, and her cries were hailstones jailed inside, and the gypsy rocked, and she rolled her, and she locked her eyes, while the smoke curled thin in the freckled sky, and the air smelled sweet, and the song was blue down to the floor, and no one knew, for no one saw, when the gypsy fell behind her parlor door.
My gosh. I don't know about you, Josh, but after this show, I'm inspired to go look up Sultana. Rosalind, do you have any advice for the aspiring poets in the audience?
A poet is a poet. There's no advice you can give a poet. He either is or is not a poet.
Let's slip one short one in to hammer the point home.
Okay. Inside the sparks. Inside the sparks and flashes where we travel free of time, we recognize each other's eyes and wordless conversations while seasons fall away on cue, wearing a once new coat with a worn-through lining as life recedes, reclining inside the sparks and flashes. And we are nowhere, and we are everywhere. Thank you.
That will certainly serve as an example. Rosalind Rabin, I want to thank you for coming on Poet the Poet.
Thank you very much.
You've been inspirational to all of us, both in front of, behind, and the camera and out on the TV
and in
box there.
background.
We'll be back in a moment with Joshua Meander, who will give us some poetry and lowdown on the infamous Nomads Choir. Stay with us.